Super Mario Bros. U marks the first time since the N64 that a Mario title launched alongside a new home console. This flashback franchise brought the plumber back to his roots of side-scrolling. It all re-began on the Nintendo DS back in 2006. With Mega Mushrooms and throwbacks to Mario games of yore, both gamers and sales numbers demanded sequels for this what's old is new again approach to Mario. The DS game received a sequel in 2012 for the 3DS, but before that the series appeared on the Wii in 2009. It debuted 4-player simultaneous gameplay in addition to some creative new suits, such as the propeller suit and the penguin suit, and even the re-debut of Yoshi. But even with these welcome new additions, the games never really recaptured the soul of the original series. They were fun, but overly derivative of better games. Subsequently, mere months after the 3DS game, the Wii U iteration received doubt from many gamers. After all, it played practically identical to the Wii game, even using the old Wii Remote playstyle with motion thrust air spins. The game felt the same, the art direction was the same, the music was literally the same, and the story was the same safe story told a dozen times. As a first impression, old Super Mario Bros. Would have been a more adequate title for the U volume of the not-so-new series. At first glance, the U game looks like an HD Wii version. It's when you compare the two that you see how the extra horsepower constitutes clarity in the U edition, bringing the backgrounds and animations to life better than ever before. Not only does it bring the colorful world of Mario to HD, it brings him to HD with extra flair. Another breath of fresh air is the wide-open overworld that evokes old memories of Super Mario World, a reoccurrence in U. Unfortunately, it sticks with the literal same exact world themes you'd find in all the other NSMB games. However, creativity in how those worlds are approached reinvigorates the tired level concepts. Above all else is the swirling painted swamplands inspired by Vincent van Gogh's famous Starry Night painting. The ice worlds have been crafted in twilight, this time taking place in the solar spectacle of an aurora borealis. These refreshing, artistically driven changes are accompanied by the sporadic gameplay variants as well. A skeletal roller coaster, the intro's mechanical Bowser hand, and even a giant sea serpent all comprise some of the more creative level provisions seen in new Super Mario Bros. U. It wouldn't be a new Mario game without new power-ups. From a Super Acorn, the flying squirrel suit emerges. You can use it to glide, air jump, and even stick to walls. Though it's the only new addition to Mario's burgeoning closet, many old favorites reappear, such as the Fire Flower or the Ice Flower that turns enemies into blocks of tossable ice. You'll also find the classic Invincibility Starman and the Mini Mushroom. Not only does it make Mario float, it gives him the ability to run on the surface of water. The free-flowing penguin suit drifts on the ground in a way reminiscent of how the squirrel suit glides in the air. Additionally, it enables the player to turn enemies into ice and swimmingly swim. One way to find some of these items is by bumping into the optional overworld map enemies. Defeating them gives you a power-up that you can use before entering a level, but this game is far less generous than its predecessor with items, as you can only store 10 at once. It's definitely a positive limitation. The Mushroom Houses also return, this time with a concentration card game that rewards you with additional power-ups. One more way to get bonus items is by catching Nabbit, a thief who robs Toad Houses. If you can nab Nabbit, you'll receive the elusive P Acorn, a throwback to the P-Wing in Mario 3 that gives you unlimited flight. There is one more costume, but it's a secret of the last world. Otherwise, players can once again saddle up on Yoshi the dinosaur. He's very fun to play as, but sadly, just like the Wii version, he's limited to only certain levels and can't travel with you. However, migratory baby Yoshis can be taken from world to world. In lieu of maturing into adult Yoshis, they now hold special abilities tied into each color. For example, the pink baby Yoshi can become a balloon, whereas the blue baby Yoshi can blow bubbles, giving the latter a striking resemblance to one of the dinos of Bubble Bobble. You'll likely find that it's easier to just jump on walls than bounce on the bubbles though. Unlike his brethren, a yellow baby Yoshi hatches out of an egg instead of only appearing on the world map. It can illuminate subterranean levels with a shake of a Wii remote. Since all three baby Yoshis endlessly dine on enemies, turning bloopers and Cheep Cheeps into sushi in the underwater levels is their best collective use. At this point, it's quite clear how much Super Mario World influenced new Super Mario Bros. U. Perhaps the most enjoyable homage is the returned emphasis on secret exits. The most obvious route to complete a level will sometimes result in a dead end. It's when you look for those hidden warp pipes and obscured ledges that you'll find the alternative exit. A red Bowser flag indicates it as such. Better yet, some of these exits are not mandatory, and some are so well hidden that even experienced players may have to do a double take. The ghost houses are notorious for optional secret doors. One in particular makes you go through a labyrinth of rooms with doors that lead to nowhere. Thinking outside the box will lead you to the real exit. These hidden exits often give you a challenging bonus level to complete that unlocks a shortcut through the worlds. For instance, the taxing Flight of the Parabeetles level. By obtaining all 3 star coins in each of the game's 90+ main levels, you'll unlock bonus levels for the Star World. Yes, another calling to Super Mario World. Here you'll face some of the gravest challenges that U has to offer. The one of note would be the nightmarish Pendulum Castle, pitting Mario against dozens of spiked balls and donut lift platforms that drop without constant motion. While the game has hard levels such as this, they are usually of a more moderate difficulty. If players want to swallow their pride, an optional assist block pops up that uses Luigi to automate through the level for you. Players should have little trouble with the actual bosses this time around. The tower sublevel bosses are usually Boom Boom, the dim-witted villain from Super Mario Bros. 3, whereas the castle bosses are the returning Kooplings. Their attack methods differ, but they can all be defeated by jumping on their heads 3 times each. After the Mushroom Kingdom is saved, there's still more to do. A brand new series first challenge mode pits Mario, Luigi, the 2 Toads, or even your own Mii against a set of specific unlockable challenges. Categories include collect the most coins, various survival modes, and perhaps the most enticing, a speedrun mode. Earning medals doesn't affect the main game, but it does provide extra incentive to keep fine-tuning your platforming skills. Another new mode called Boost Rush is comprised of auto-scrolling levels where collecting coins creates faster speed. The levels are separated by packs of differing difficulty settings, giving seasoned Mario fans a chance to prove themselves against the clock. New Super Mario Bros. U also supports the touchscreen functionality of the optional Wii U gamepad. Using the stylus, makeshift platforms can be placed anywhere on screen for Mario to jump on. It can be a literal lifesaver whenever you mistime a jump. Though using this platform-making, enemy-poking boost mode requires a separate player, the gamepad has individual uses as well, such as being able to play the entire game solely on the gamepad screen. Yet another feature of the new gamepad is the integration of Miiverse, Nintendo's answer to social networking on Wii U. After completing a level extraordinarily well, or alternatively struggling in a certain part, players are given an option to share their experiences, vent their frustrations, or provide tips pertaining to that level. It can be a humorous, insightful, or even an artistic experience thanks to the touchscreen's monochrome drawing capability. Through the dedicated community on Miiverse, the game feels like a less isolated experience, though an online multiplayer feature would have been fine too. The game does support up to 5 players in local play, with 4 players using Wii remotes and 1 assisting on the gamepad. New Super Mario Bros. U is head and shoulders the best in the NSMB series, surpassing prior expectations. The worst thing about the game is the recycled and completely unnotable music. But since the gameplay and level design are major hits, it's easier to ignore when the series is clearly heading in the right direction. More innovation next time around, and we very well may have yet another perfect Mario game.
Yeah, Mario time!